Hey guys, today we're going to talk about area. We're going to look at area of triangles, rectangles, trapezoids, and other irregular polygons. So for these first three, obviously they are triangles. So we're going to use the formula for finding the area of a triangle, which is right here, half the base times the height. Or if you want to think about it this way, it's a little easier. Just multiply the base and height together and then divide by 2. So on letter A, we're looking for that 90-degree angle right here. So the two sides that form that 90-degree angle. So 5 is a slanted line, 9 is a slanted line. They're not going to form a right angle with any other line. That's why they give us the height as the straight line here. So the height is 4, the base is 12. So we're going to multiply 4 times 12. Divide that by 2, so 48 divided by 2, the area is 24 units squared on letter A. Letter B, we have a nice right triangle, so this one's easy. We're going to use those two lines that make that right angle, 7 and 6. So we're going to multiply 7 times 6, divide it by 2, so 7 times 6 is 42, and half of 42 is 21 inches squared on letter B. Letter C, don't be tricked and say 4 times 8. We're going to use the whole base. So the whole base is 8, right? And the height is 8. So we're going to multiply 8 times 8. We get 64, and half of 64 is 32 centimeters squared. Hope you guys got all those correct. All right, number 2, this is actually a trapezoid. The definition of a trapezoid is a quadrilateral with exactly 2, actually 1, 2, 3, yeah. A quadrilateral, which is a 4-sided figure with exactly 2 parallel lines, or 1 pair of parallel lines. So in 7th grade, we'll talk about the formula for finding the area of a trapezoid. But for now, for 6th grade, we're just going to think of this figure as a rectangle and 2 triangles, okay? So the 2 triangles are going to have the same base. So this is 9 inches. So from here to here is 9 inches, but we see that the whole length is 22. So the first thing we want to do is find out what is the base of these triangles. So we know the height is 5. We need the base. So we're going to take 9 from 22, and that's 13. So that means this is half of 13, and this is half of 13. So half of 13 is 6.5. So each of these triangles have a base of 6.5. and a height of 5. So let's start with a rectangle in the middle. So rectangle with dimensions 9 by 5 is 45 inches squared. And then we have 2 triangles that have a base of 6.5 and a height of 5. So 6.5 times 5, 5 times 5 is 25. And then we have 32 with 1 number behind the decimal. Now, normally for 1 triangle, we would half this, obviously. But since we have 2 triangles anyway, we can just leave this as 32.5, and that is the area of both triangles put together. So we're going to take the area of a rectangle, I'll do it over here, 45 inches for a rectangle plus 32.5 for both triangles added together. Line up those decimals. We add them together, 5, 6, 7. So we get 77.5 inches squared for the area of the whole trapezoid, 77.5. All right, so here we have another trapezoid. So once again, we're going to think of this as, we're going to decompose it, thinking of a rectangle in the middle and 2 congruent triangles on both sides. If this triangle has a base of 3, this one does as well. We see the dimensions of this rectangle in the center is a 7 by 7 rectangle. So 7 times 7 is 49 feet squared. The base of these triangles is a 3 and the height is 7. So 7 times 3 is 21. Normally we would half that if we had 1 triangle, but since there's two triangles, we're going to leave it as 21. That's the combined area of both triangles. So 49 feet squared plus 21 feet squared is 70 feet squared. 70 feet squared for the whole trapezoid. Number 4, which shape has the greater area? So to me, these look like kites. You ever flown a kite? Here's the tail, so on and so forth. But anyway, they've divided these kites into 4 triangles. So on the left side, these are all congruent triangles. So we have a height of 3, a base of 1. So 3 times 1 is 3. Since it's a triangle, we would half that. Half of 3 is 1.5. So each triangle has an area of 1.5 meters squared, and there's 4 of them. So altogether, the area of this one is 6 meters squared. Well, this one here, we have 2 congruent triangles on the top. So we have a 2 by 1. So 2 times 1 is 2. So one of these, so half of 2 is 1. So one of these has an area of 1. This one has an area of 1. The one at the bottom, we have a 5 by 2. So that's 10, but then we would need half it. This has an area of 5 and this has an area of 5. So altogether, the area of this triangle is 12 meters squared. So obviously this one has a larger area. So number 5, we have an obtuse triangle. So we have to make that right angle. Anytime they give you an obtuse angle or an obtuse triangle, they're always going to give you that height. Okay. So we're always going to use that straight line that creates this right angle right here. So that means we're using 9.6 and the base of 6. So let's multiply 9.6 times 6. 6 times 6 is 36, 54, 55, 56, 57. There's one number behind the decimal. And since it's a triangle, we have to half it. So we're going to half 57.6 to get the area of our triangle. So 2 goes into 5 twice. 2 goes into 17 6 times. No, it isn't. 8. Just kidding. 8 times 2 is 16. Subtract, bring down that 6, bring that decimal straight up, and 2 goes into 16 8 times again. So the area of this triangle is 28.8 feet squared. All right, now these are a little challenging, but we can do it, right? So let's start with this octagon. It's a regular octagon, which means all these side lengths are the same. So I can create a triangle right here. Do you see that? So if this base right here is 7.65, this one is as well. And the height of my triangle is 9.24. So I'm going to multiply 9.24, which is the height, times 7.65, which is the base. And I think I'll go ahead and use a calculator just for the sake of time. You guys might want to practice multiplying without a calculator, because on your 5th grade milestone, you're going to need to do that a few times. But I'm just trying to save time. So 9.24 times 7.65 is 70.686 inches squared. However, since it's a triangle, we still have to half it for one triangle, right? So 35.343 for every triangle. And how many triangles could we make? Well, here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that makes sense because it's an octagon. So finally, we're going to take the area of one triangle. We're going to multiply it by 8 triangles. And the total area of the whole octagon is 282 and 744 thousandths inches squared. Wow, that was a lot of work, right? All right, now the next one is an irregular polygon. That means all the side lengths are different. So what could we do? We could think, all right, well, I don't know what the area of the whole thing is, but I could figure out the area of rectangle 1 and rectangle 2. I could do it that way. Or I could also go this way, right? And I'd have a little rectangle up here and a big one down here. So I think I'll do it this way. Well, this rectangle up here is a 3 by 5. So I know 3 times 5 is 15. And this rectangle down here is a 10 by 6. 10 by 6 is 60. And then for the whole thing, I would just add 60, well, I was going to write it out, but 60 plus 15 is 75 centimeters squared is the area of our whole irregular polygon. All right, so 8, 9, and 10, these are all similar. Now, 10 is obviously just a trapezoid. So I'm not going to take the time. Well, let me just talk about one of them anyway. So I'll do number 8, and then I'm not going to spend the time now to do 9 and 10, but I'll post the answers on the Canvas page. But I want you guys to do these. These are good problems for you guys to practice doing, and then check your answers. If you don't know how I got my answers that I'm posting, then let me know and I'll help you. All right, so basically number 8, what is the area of the square? So we would answer that question first. So the square is obviously a 10 by 10. So 10 times 10 is 100 inches squared. Then the question is, what is the area of the triangle? So the base is obviously 10. We know the side lengths of each square is 10. And the height is 5. So 10 times 5 is 50, but since it's a triangle, we would half 50. So the area of one triangle is 25 inches squared. And then it says, how many triangles could we cut out of this square? Well, there's 1. Here would be 2, 3, and this is 4, which makes sense because 4 times 25 is going to be the area of our whole square, right? All right, so you guys do 9 and 10 and check your answers on my Canvas page. 11 and 12, not number 12, but these two problems for number 11, I encourage you to stop the video. I want you to try these on your own and then turn the video back on to see if you are right. All right, so 11, we could do this different ways. We can make rectangles this way. We can make rectangles this way, whatever you wanted to do. So I'm just gonna do, I guess, these two. I'm gonna make little rectangles right here. Why is my thing not writing? Here we go. There's one and there's, so now I have 3 rectangles, right? 1, 2, and 3. So what are the dimensions of this rectangle on top? Well, it's a 4 by 2. So we have an 8 centimeters squared for the area. This one is a 3 by 3. So 3 by 3 is 9 centimeters squared. And what about this one? So obviously the whole side down here is 9. Well, this side is not 6, is it? This whole thing is 6. I just need this part. Well, I know this part up here is 3. So that means that this part right here is 3. So 9 times 3 is 27. And finally, I would add all of my areas together. So I would have 17 plus 4 is 24. So I got 44 centimeters squared. Let me know if I missed it. Okay. Yeah, I think that's right. All right, now this one over here is a little bit more tricky. So I know at the top, obviously that looks almost like a triangle. So I'm going to finish this triangle. And I need to know what the height of my triangle is. Well, I know that this is 5 right here. I know the whole thing is 7, which tells me from here to here has to be 2, right? Since the whole thing is 5. And then the base of my triangle is the whole thing. The whole thing is 6. So I have a triangle with a base of 6 and a height of 2. 6 by 2 is 12, but then it's a triangle, so I have to half it. So the area of my triangle on top is 6 inches squared. And now I just need to worry about this rectangle on the bottom, which is a 5 by 4, 20 inches. When I add all that together, I get 26 inches squared. All right, I hope you guys did great. I bet you did. Make sure you check those answers on the last screen. And if you have any questions, let me know. I will check in with you guys later.